Good morning. Good morning. Just hopping on here to share a new itinerary for you for January 2026 that will allow us to combine Galapagos Islands in Ecuador with Machu Picchu, Peru. There are so many different ways to enjoy the islands with island hopping, different cruises, 7 nights, 5 nights, 3 nights, and of course, hotels on the islands and glamping. And in Machu Picchu, of course, there are so many highlights in Peru that we can include. So I want to show you what we can do and how you can tweak the trip to make it your own. So consider this just your first version, just to get some ideas going. So I'm going to share my screen and you will be able to see the PDF that I'm sending you as well. This is the full itinerary. It's about 19 days. So of course, let's talk about how to make it shorter or where can we add to make it longer. This trip particularly is set around January. And of course, we can build it around your dates, build it around any month of the year. There are two seasons in South America, dry season and wet season. So in January, we are entering the wet season truly in the Andes. However, in the Galapagos, it is peak season. It is when the water is calm, when the water is warm and really nice, and one of the most popular months. So from December to March, the water is very warm. You don't need wetsuits or anything like that. The rest of the year, the water gets a little colder, and then we provide wetsuits, but you do all the same excursions. Every month, something new is happening in the islands. So truly, there is no bad time. I have been to Ecuador 7 times. I've explored the islands all kinds of different ways. And this particular itinerary includes a 7 night cruise on a luxury yacht. So that's just one way to experience it. So January 16th, you're going to fly into Quito, Ecuador. It's one of the international airports. The other one is Guayaquil. Once you arrive in Quito, we will be picking you up from the airport. My team will be waiting there with a sign with your names on it, and we will take you downtown to your hotel and stay there for 4 nights. The reason I built this trip with 4 nights is so I can show you a little bit of what we can do here in the Andes, and we can talk further about how to customize the trip and make it your own. Maybe make it shorter, maybe go overnight in one of these locations. So the hotel I chose is Plaza Grande. It's a great traditional hotel in the old town because Quito is a big city. There's a new town and an old town. It's very colorful. It's right on the main square. So I think the location is wonderful. You'll wake up with the church bells. You'll see ladies selling things in the market. It's very lively and it's filled with restaurants all around. So it's a great place to kind of unwind after your excursions. On the itinerary, always with Sate Adventures, you will see a BLD. That stands for the meals that I've already included. And I don't like to include all the meals because there are so many wonderful places to explore. But if I included it, it's in one of our favorite places. If it's not included, our guides can always point out some fun places for you as well. So 3 days. 3 full days in Ecuador before we go to the islands. The first day is exploring Quito itself. So all the highlights, all the beautiful overlooks, have a traditional lunch, have a chocolate experience, and then go to the equator line, which is really famous. You can do some fun experiments, and it's just a really fun place to visit while in Quito. How to customize this day? We can go to a famous museum. We can take a gondola to the top of Pichincha volcano. So there are some places and things that we can do if you want to make this trip a little bit of your own, but it is with a private guide, with a private car. So it's at your pace and we can peek into doorways and do things along the way that might not be written on this itinerary. This is just a sample of what we can do. The following day, we will leave Quito and drive south to the avenue, down the Avenue of the Volcanoes to Cotopaxi National Park. And this is a very traditional area. It's filled with markets, indigenous communities. Of course, the volcano is really is a beautiful place to go hiking. There are lagoons, and we'll go to a local ranch, an active ranch. We can go horseback riding here with the gauchos. We can go hiking to the lagoon. We'll have a traditional Ecuadorian lunch here and then come home to our hotel in Quito. So a really wonderful day. Again, we can customize it a little bit further. We can spend more time in markets if you enjoy that. We can visit an indigenous community, a village along the way. And of course, we actually can stay in the haciendas, which are the local ranches, for the night. So that's another fun experience to do if you want to get away from the city for one night. Very lovely bed and breakfast style hotels here. And then when you come back to Quito, I wanted to show you one of my favorite new restaurants in Ecuador. It made the top 50 restaurants in the world. It's called Nuema. So we will have a driver take you this evening to that. And it is going to be completely different from what you've been eating so far. Ecuador is big on, meat and potatoes and vegetables and very solid, sturdy meals. But Nuema is one of those very fancy, 12-course meals. Everything's really beautiful, and it kind of travels around Ecuador on a dish. So you'll taste things from the coast and taste things from the Amazon. And it's a beautiful experience and such an honor for Ecuador to have this restaurant in Quito. So we will invite you and include all your experiences there. And then on your last day in Quito, we will take you north to Otavalo. And Otavalo is a very, very indigenous place. There are different tribes that live in this area, and they commune together at the Otavalo market. It's the largest indigenous market in South America. So it's really fun to come here if you love photography, if you're interested in anthropology and people and the different indigenous communities. And of course, if you like to bargain shop and buy some beautiful souvenirs from the artisans here, what we like to do is not only visit the market, but we will also visit one of the indigenous ladies called Claudia, and she opens her kitchen to us. And we do a really fun traditional cooking class. So you're going to have lunch here with her, but you will participate in making it. So you'll go to the herb garden and pick some vegetables and, really help her make the lunch and then enjoy it in her dining room. And it's such a lovely experience in combination with visiting this area. Of course, in this region, there are beautiful retreats, there are beautiful spa hotels. We can stay here for the night if you'd like. We can spend more time at the market. We can go kayaking on the lake. There's so many different things that we can do in this area. So we can tweak it if you'd like. But this particular experience, I love doing because she's such an entrepreneur, and we're so proud of Claudia and the program that we created with her. And then we're off to the Galapagos. So that kind of gives you an idea of what's possible in the Andes in Ecuador. Of course, there's the Amazon, there's the coast, there's Cuenca, beautiful colonial city. There's Baños with hot springs. So there's lots of different things that we can include in Ecuador, but I just gave you a little taste before we go to the Galapagos. So it works. We will take you to the airport. We have a Galapagos assistant at the airport, walk you through all the customs for the islands, get your ID card, get your entry ticket, and then you take a 2-hour flight to the islands, and then the boat will pick you up. The team will pick you up from the boat, and for the next 7 nights, you are with the boat crew. So the Infinity is one of the newer boats here in the islands. We work with probably 40 boats in the islands. The largest one in the Galapagos is about 100 people, maybe 95 people. And then majority of the boats will be 16 people. And that's because the Galapagos is a highly protected area. And the places that you're going to be visiting, only 16 people can enter at one time, which means most boats will have groups of 16. This particular boat allows 20 people, and the reason they are allowed to do that is because they have 2 guides on board, which means that groups are made into 10 and 10, the smallest groups in the islands. So it is a very big perk because you're going to be traveling with only 10 people when you're visiting, when you're snorkeling, when you're hiking. So it's a really big perk for the Infinity, and I love them for that. I also love the Infinity because the cabins are quite spacious, and each cabin has a balcony, which I love in the islands because when you're in the Galapagos, you're not in open sea majority of the time. There's always going to be some kind of island out your window. There's always going to be some kind of animal activity out your window. So it's really nice to have a balcony for those downtimes when you're relaxing. And of course, Top Chef, beautiful inside and outside spaces. There's a hot tub for your free times. There's indoor dining, outdoor dining, and a really great crew. So they will take such wonderful care of you on the islands. And last thing is, because it's a new boat and it was built directly for the Galapagos, it is quieter, it is eco-friendly, and it cuts through, it's faster, so it can cut through the waves quicker, and you're spending less time traveling and more time exploring. So most of the older boats will visit 1 to 2 spots a day. You will be visiting 2 to 3 spots a day, and always have an opportunity to get in the water every day for snorkeling, kayaking, stand-up paddle boarding. So that's just like a little blurb about the Galapagos and how it works. You have a full itinerary here. You have a map here of where you will be going on this itinerary. So quite a lot of stops, as you see. You can cover a lot in 7 nights. Every day you're going to be getting off and on. All your meals are included. All the activities are included. So if you're going kayaking, snorkeling, all of that equipment is available for you. There are many different boats. So if this doesn't fit your budget, if you want something smaller, like 16 people, or if you do like that larger boat feel, just let me know and I will show you what's available. And also, if you don't want to spend 7 nights on a boat, 7 nights in the islands, we can do a shorter boat. Like I said, there are 3, 4, 5, and 7 night boats and longer. But of course, there's also hotels on the island. So a lot of my guests will do a 4-night cruise and then 3 nights in a Highlands hotel, maybe glamping amongst the giant tortoises, or they'll do a beach hotel so that they can feel like they're getting a little bit of a vacation at the end. So there are so many different ways to do it. The boat is the way to see the most possible way. So I always start with the boat. If this is your only chance to see the Galapagos, the boat will allow you to see the most of it. And you will see giant tortoises, sea turtles, penguins, sea lions, of course, dolphins, and so many bird species like the blue-footed boobies, and so many different things happening in the islands. I just love the Galapagos. It's such a great adventure. And the big thing is, why do we go to the Galapagos? Is because the animals have no predators, so they don't have fear, so they don't run or fly away when you're near them. So you can sit amongst sea lions, and birds will sit near you, and there's iguanas everywhere. So it's a really great place. Plus, a lot of the islands look like a different planet with the landscapes. So wonderful excursion. Once you are done with the Galapagos, we will fly back to Quito or to Guayaquil, one of the mainland airports. And because we're connecting to Peru, we will connect the flights and fly right to Lima on that same day. So day 12 is sort of a travel day because you're going to get off the boat, fly to the mainland, fly to Lima, and go to the hotel and rest. I chose the Iberostar Hotel. It's a great place in Miraflores, which is that lively, modern part of Lima, which is right on the ocean. They have a rooftop, great views, great, really modern hotel. So you can have all your amenities. Maybe you can get your laundry done. It's a great spot to do that because we're going to be here for 2 nights. So the first day is arrival and relaxing. Day 13, there's different things to see in Lima. What I want to do is, instead of taking you on a full-on, history tour of Lima, I am just going to do a walking tour of tasting. So you're going to see ruins, but you're going to have snacks at them. You're going to go to the coast where you're going to have pisco sours, and you're going to go to the market, and you're going to see Lima the way people from Lima see it. So it's a great little way to explore. And then, of course, you'll have an afternoon free, so we can do some additional things. We can go to Lovers Park. We can go to the fountain park at night. We can make reservations at one of the best restaurants in the world. 3 of them happen to be here in Lima. So if you're a foodie, this is the place to be. And then we're off to, the Inca Triangle, which is Cusco, Sacred Valley, and Machu Picchu. So we're going to fly from Lima to Cusco. It's just an hour flight. And once we're there, we're in high altitude. So I'm going to take you to Sacred Valley, which is the countryside between Cusco and Machu Picchu. And we will stay there 2 nights so we can see some beautiful sights, but also acclimate slowly before we do some hiking. So our first day, when we arrive in Sacred Valley, we're going to have a beautiful farm-to-table lunch. We're going going to go to Salineras, which is ancient Inca salt mines or salt farms, which local people still work. So it's really visually stunning. And we'll go to Chinchero, which is a very colorful indigenous community, a lot of weavers there. So lots to see and do. And then we'll stay for 2 nights at a beautiful lodge right in the countryside. They include dinner for you. And the following day, we're going to go to Misminai, which is an indigenous community, and we'll go to Ollantaytambo ruins. So I try to balance some highlight places that are on people's bucket lists, like Ollantaytambo, with places that maybe people have not heard of or are off the beaten path, like Misminai. Misminai is an indigenous community where we will invite you to do a Pachamanca ceremony with the ladies, and you'll get to see life in the Andes as it truly is, because these people have been here for generations and generations. There's a shaman, they can do a blessing. It's a really great experience. And of course, Ollantaytambo will allow you to kind of stretch your legs and do some hiking and see how you feel in high altitude before day 16 when we go to Machu Picchu. So from Sacred Valley to Machu Picchu is just a train ride. And it's about a 2-hour train ride. Then we'll take you right to the ruins, have a tour of the ruins itself with your private guide. Stay the night in Machu Picchu at a beautiful hotel in the village. It has acres of land and gardens. It's a spectacular place to relax. And the reason we stay the night is so that the following morning we can go back to the ruins with way less people. Only 500 people are allowed at 7 a.m. and then 500 at 10 a.m. for the hiking. So you can choose to go back to the ruins and do another circuit, or you can choose to hike the famous Huayna Picchu, which is a big hill here. I just did it a few months ago. Or if you want to hike, but you want something easier, we can do Uchuy Picchu, which is just half the size of Huayna Picchu. Lots of different options. We can discuss other treks as well. There's Machu Picchu Mountain, there's the Sun Gate to the Inca Trail. So there's different trails that we can do. But the whole idea is to see Machu Picchu in a different light, be there in the morning, have another beautiful experience, lunch, and then train back to Cusco. There are different trains. So I've included the Vista Dome, which is the glass dome ceiling train. It's a really nice experience. But if you want something really high end, we can include the Hiram Bingham. It's a white glove service dinner train, which could be a really fun experience here. And then there's another train that kind of in between, which also serves dinner, but is not so high end, but it could be another fun upgrade option. Once we get to Cusco, it's our last stop. We're going to be there for 2 nights. We're staying in a very traditional hotel, Palacio del Inca. It's been there forever and ever. Great courtyards, great location. And the whole idea is to arrive, rest, and then see some of the sites in Cusco. I'll let you sleep in, and then we'll pick you up around 12, show you this highlight, show you the temples, the ruins, the cathedral. And then, because we're fully acclimated, we'll take you on a fun walking cocktail tour. So you'll get some pisco sours, and you'll get to get some bites in really famous restaurants around Cusco, get the party atmosphere, get the nightlife atmosphere of Cusco, which is so fabulous. Cusco is all about the main square. All life kind of throbs there, and then kind of centers out from that main square on cobblestone streets. Really colorful, really walking friendly city. And so when we're done with our cocktail tour, we'll go inside a museum that closes to the public, and we will have dinner, a farewell dinner inside this local museum. It's such a wonderful way to end the trip. The following day, we'll take you to the airport and you can fly home. This allows 19 days, but Peru has so much more to offer. You can add Lake Titicaca. You would need an extra 2 nights. You can add the Amazon. You would need 3 extra nights. You can, sail down the Amazon or go to a lodge. You can stay in Cusco for another day and go to see Rainbow Mountain, which is really famous, colorful, a great hike as well. So let me know what your thoughts are. There's a lot of information here, and I hope you enjoyed listening to me rattle off about Ecuador and Peru. We love South America. We've been specializing in this region for 19 years, and thank you so much. I look forward to your questions, and happy travels.